I'll start playing.
Okay, the hangout is on air.
If you need me, I will come running after you.
No, it's the Sharon Snow.
Just like a storybook ending where our dreams come true.
Okay.
Even if the stars fall down, I'll be here waiting on the ground, holding you. I will be your knight in shining armor if you want me to.
I guess you guys can hear us. Let us know
I
what it
will
sounds
be
like.
the one who's sticking to you like sky on blue. Even if the stars fall down, what could be turning upside down? Hold on to me.
Jason,
Just like a storybook ending, lights go down when we're not pretending. Oh, forever love, forever love. The curtain's drawn, the sun is setting. You and me, we're just beginning.
Okay, good. Something's not here. Yeah, sound perfect.
Forever love, forever love. Let the credits roll, let the
So you can hear the music
credits
fine, I
roll.
guess. That's Storybook Ending. You probably
It
saw the
won't
video
change a
on
thing.
Facebook or YouTube. Only hear the
If you
music, not you
need me,
guys,
I
okay?
will be your shelter. You can count on
We might have to
me.
adjust our microphone.
Where you go, it really doesn't matter.
So if I'll just test it out without the music. Can you hear me now?
I'll turn off the. Okay, yeah, we can turn the music down a bit too.
Hello, hello. Probably can't hear us that well. Maybe the mic can go up a little touch. Let's see. See you, but small picture. It says. We got Anna. Hi, Danielle.
Oh, give him a chair over here. We got some live studio audience members here too.
We got a couple of guys. You can only hear the music. That's what the feed says.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can adjust the microphone.
Yeah. Turn that microphone. We're gonna turn the mic up a little bit. Maybe the music is okay. Get too much. There we go. Turn down the level over there, I guess. All right. Hello. That's better, Hannah says. That's a bit better. Dragon Girl says. Okay.
I know who Dragon Girl is.
Yeah. He knows who Dragon Girl is. Okay, you let us know if you can't hear us.
Yeah, just keep giving us feedback. We'll go ahead and get started.
Perfect. We're not really sure what we're going to be getting started at, but basically just wanted to get online and just to kind of connect with some different people and see. We got someone from Surrey, BC. Vincent. Not sure if I know you, Keith, if I met you before or not. I see you're on Facebook a lot. I see you like a lot of the things that you post and stuff.
Yeah, me and Keith go way back, so I know Keith.
Oh,
Yeah, great too. He's actually he's pretty nice.
oh, that's cool.
Okay, good. We're getting feedback that it's sounding good. And there is a bit of a delay too, so it's a bit of probably 10 or 15 second delay from what we say when we start hearing it. So
Yeah, that's true.
yep.
Just remind ourselves of that. So when you comment, we see that. But yeah. So who's Ed? I don't know who Ed is.
Ed likes my hair. There we go.
No, I think that was someone else.
Oh, some guy. No.
So yeah, so we got a new CD. Storybook Ending is the title. I'll bring it a little closer. See our reflection in the screen. What can we say about this new CD, Steve?
Well, it's been about, I guess a year in the making, about a year from the time we finished our last album, last August we released it, and so, I mean, we really only started writing in earnest probably for this album. Actually, it was New Year's, we almost called the album New Year's Day.
Yes, that's true.
We got together on getting our good friends aside from being bandmates and business partners, so we're working together every day. And so we got together on New Year's Day. Our families kind of got together, and so while some of the rest of the family was out in the living room, me and Clint forced came into the studio and started the band. whole pile of different things. And so that was the start for a lot of signs, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that day kind of was one of those good days.
Did we start Don't Look Back that day?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did we start today?
There was two or three songs came out pretty quick actually in this jam. It was New Year's Day, and I guess that was kind of the vibe. So yeah, we talked about calling the album Don't Look Back or New Year's Day. There's a song on there, Don't Look Back. I guess we could play that one probably for a little bit. I guess since we're on that, since we're talking about that, we don't have to
do them in order.
Okay, so we'll play Don't Look Back. This is a little different song for us.
So some people are still saying we need the music volume down a little bit. And we did some testing earlier today, and we found that certain devices too have a little different blend. So I don't know if we're going to get it 100% everybody, but we'll keep tweaking and try to get as close as we can.
I'm trying to connect to my library here now. It was connected, but it disconnected on us. Here we go. This is Don't Look Back. So you let us know if the volume is good. Yeah. Thanks, Adam. See your comment here.
And someone said artwork will rate, so thank you very much. Well, I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. Keep the artwork.
A violet sky on a pitch black night. A silhouette of an angel's flight. And she's running to the beat of a pounding heart. She's running, knew he was trouble from the start. And she's terrified of what she'll find. Terrified. She's terrified of what she'll find. Terrified. It's a long, long way down the track. So don't look back. Don't look back. And if you spread your wings in the sky, she'll crack. Don't look back. Don't look back. Butterflies in the rain. Swore he'd never do it again.
So yeah, Steve will be right back there. I just around the campfire listening. Someone says, yeah, I agree. There, Peter Clark says, so make brilliant video, very visual, and that's exactly right. That's when we wrote this one. This song was one of those New Year's Day songs that, like we said, and the idea kind of came out. Just usually it comes out in musical idea and then goes to the lyrics. Kind of we fill in the lyrics after, but we wanted to write a song that could be a movie, kind of a story. The whole album was really based on stories. This was a little different for me and different for us in general, I think. So yeah, so we'll talk a bit about the story, Steve. How the stories.
Yeah, a lot of the songs that we wrote, we kind of what we did was we just kind of visualized a story, a movie setting, a scene or whatever, and we kind of and we imagined characters. We were imagining characters and what they were doing. This story is a story, I guess, you know, of somebody who's trying to escape from a difficult situation, and they finally work up the courage. They know they've gone through a struggle time and time again. They know they need to get out of a bad situation, and they finally make up their mind. She makes up her mind to cut her hair and run. And we were sort of imagining maybe a person who just wanted to escape their old life and even wanted to just cut their hair, literally get a different look, be somebody else, or you know, take on and so we visualized that, and visualizing them running down the track, starting a new life, and that's how a lot of our songs were written. That's why we called it Storybook Ending in the end, because so many of the songs were written in that way. One little side thing too. This song, we called it the Airwolf song for a little while because of that intro at the beginning, the keyboard intro.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows the old 80s, there's always a little touch of our
youth,
our 80s vibe to everything. We like to do a tip of the hat.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. So.
And keep it fresh in that way, you know. But yeah, that song. Some of the comments are pretty funny. It's pretty cool. That's cool, Hannah. Yeah, Don't Look Back, because I don't know if there's anything else with that song in particular that we want to say. What song was it? Yeah, it was Storybook Ending that we were. That was when you showed me that picture from the Vancouver riot.
Yes, yeah.
That's if you Google.
See if I can Google. I might put a link in here.
If you Google kissing couple at Vancouver riot, you'll see it's an image that went viral. But
yeah, that was the inspiration for that song. So maybe we can play that one next, and that's the title track.
We're gonna play that at the beginning, yeah. But Storybook Ending is the love. If you listen to the lyrics, it's like the love story. It's based on a movie again, and regardless of what's going on around them, it doesn't change a thing. It doesn't change their love. It doesn't change them. They don't let the world change them. And
Laura,
oh, that's funny. That's a nice one, Laura. Yeah. So that, but if you Google that picture, kissing couple, Vancouver riot, and play Storybook Ending, I think it's a pretty cool visual to go along with the audio. Let's do another song. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Here's another one. Let Me Down Easy.
Yeah, we had lots of good feedback on this one when we released the little sample clip. So, I had lots of people say that they really like this one.
Great, Mr. Yeah, so that's another taste of that one. That one was a lot of fun to record. Got some. Yeah, thanks, Peter. That's a nice comment, man.
Man, thanks, Ed. Ed says Clint never saw a guitar picking to match your skill.
What? You said what? Never saw the guitar picking to match your skill. Well, Laura says Clint should be in Hollywood. Yeah, I kind of feel like, sometimes Hollywood would be cool, but I like it. I like it here too. I think it's interesting. We have a lot of fun. But what was I saying? Yeah, Let Me Down Easy. Yeah, just that one was fun because we had a chance to do use the talk box and some other interesting sounds.
Yeah, a lot of people ask us about the talk box, and that is Clint owns the talk box, a bona fide one, just like Richie Sambora, I guess, uses.
Yes,
and every now and again that influence comes out too. That's a little bit of a hat tip.
Yeah,
to classic music that we grew up listening to, and we found a lot of people like the sound. What was our inspiration for that one? That was one that you mainly you wrote.
I can't remember really. Like there's a few of these songs that have been around a while, and we just kind of took the ideas and just kind of made them all kind of glue together. But Let Me Down Easy, it's kind of like, it's kind of a better relationship, I guess, something like that, where the guy is like saying, hey, let me down, if you're gonna let me down easy, don't do it too harshly. And there's a little bit of satire in there. Something like Stacy's mom, was it?
Yeah. Actually, is that was kind of inspired some of the sound in that one?
Some of the sound, yeah.
We were listening to some Fountains of Wayne because we really like their styles and how they mix a bit of synth in with stuff too. And yeah, that's true. Yeah, we had a lot of different influences on this album, and we were listening to a lot of stuff. I mean, Tom Petty, and we listened to a lot of during that whole time frame. We were doing a classic rock album. More of a classic rock type of sound for Tom Pinson in Grand Falls, and so while we're working on his album too, we had to kind of really go deep into a lot of Springsteen type of sounds and so on. So, and all of that kind of came into the mix and helped influence this album as well.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got any questions, just feel free. I mean, just to go ahead.
Janice says you should get Clint to act like a nerd. I know it would take some effort.
Doesn't take much to get me to act like a nerd.
She spends too much time in the studio. Speaking of the studio, we did get a couple of guests come into the studio. We got Justin and Byron here with us. Come over for 1 second, guys. Stick your head in around just to let them see your face there. There's Byron. Let's see if you can see him come in a little closer. There we go. A little closer. There you go. Hello. Justin, come in.
Say hi, Justin.
It's good to have some studio audience here. There's Justin.
Hello.
Hey, Justin. Everybody say hi to him.
Awesome.
Clint said, Keith says it's really lagging for him. We're going through YouTube, so any of the lag most likely is, I would say, it's ISP, and so I don't really know what to do. Yeah. Just let me know if it keeps up, and maybe you can just close the page and reopen it again.
It comes and goes a little bit. I noticed it was like that earlier when we were testing. So Peter Clark asks a question. Talk about the recording process: drums, bass, guitar, tracks first, tracking as you go. Yeah. Basically, we start with a guide track and a basic drum loop, usually something like that, and then we'll probably do a bass, and then we'll listen to we'll get it to sound fairly complete, and then start layering it on top. That's about it. I mean, sometimes, usually there's always something. There's something we're listening to that kind of helps us get the mix together. That's usually how it goes. It's awesome. I love the process. It's always changing too. It's right to the very end before the album actually gets released. Like a couple of weeks ago, we weren't sure when we were going to get the album released, but we kind of pushed ourselves a bit to.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, what we do is we'll get the songs basically in shape with the basic tracks, core stuff that we need. And then we'll just, usually Clint goes back. Clint does the majority of the mixing, and he's the mastering guy. The guy's got an insane ear for mixing and mastering. I would give it to him. And so what he does is he'll take it and get it in pretty good shape and get vocals and stuff on it, and then we'll we'll usually kind of get together for a few sessions, sit down and listen to it, and then just start getting inspired. See, like, what do we need here? We need a little bit of a lift, or we need something some more dynamic, something that makes the chorus jump out a little bit more, and or fiddle around with some synth sounds, or start playing it and say, oh, I hear some banjo in here, and so that's what happened. Like I said, we were kind of down like a few weeks ago, like you said, we were down to not knowing sort of, is this ready for release? Do we,
Yeah.
And we got together for a couple of marathon sessions of listening, and we came up with, a couple of songs. We redid the guitars.
Yeah, completely.
Just scrapped all the guitars
We've
that we
done
had already
this
done.
particular song. We've done guitars on that. I'd say probably. I'd say if you added them all up, there was probably 20 or 30 different guitar tracks.
Yeah.
Layers of guitars and stuff. And we'll play that song for you now. And what really I think solidified this one was the banjo track. So
Yeah.
So here you go. We're not
more banjo.
Not going to stop.
And while you listen to that, I'm going to go fix the website.
We're not gonna stop when you say it's over. We're not gonna stop when the lights go out. Play your cards and get your four-leaf clover. We're not gonna stop until we hear the people shouting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tonight we'll reach the top of this mountain, and tonight we'll hear the walls come down. Watch out, 'cause we're coming out fighting. Not gonna stop till we hear the people shouting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna stop if you push me over. I'm not gonna stop when you knock me down. Don't place your bets, 'cause baby it ain't over. I'm not gonna stop until I hear the people shouting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Tonight we'll reach the top of this mountain, and tonight we'll hear the walls come down. Watch out, 'cause we're coming out fighting. Not gonna stop till we hear the people shouting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout, shout, show 'em what it's all about. We're not giving up, we're not going down. Shout, shout, nothing's gonna hold us down. We're not going home, we're not going down. Yeah. Shout, shout, show 'em what it's all about. We're not giving up, we're not going down. Shout, shout, nothing's gonna hold us down. We're not going home, we're not going down.
There you go. Not going to stop. I think the idea behind that one too originally was to have a song for a sports event or something where you rally a team together and say, we're not going to stop. We're not backing down. And
Yeah, it's a good anthem. It's just
yeah, fist pumper.
So maybe a sports team will pick it up. I'm not really much into sports ball, or those types of things, but if anybody out there knows some teams that might want to use it to help them get pumped up and use for their hockey season or whatever.
And Peter says talk to this lead break sound.
Yeah.
The lead break in that is again is the talk box. It's just straight talk box. There's nothing on it. And it really sticks out really nice against the guitars. Originally the song was a lot heavier, and it didn't suit the album being a very, very crunchy, kind of heavy, overdriven song. It was funny when we lightened up. Steve suggested we lighten up the track, lighten up the song, lighten up the guitars, and it carried more weight.
It's amazing. It sounded thicker when we played cleaner guitar on it.
Yes.
So and
more open chords and less power chords. More open chords on a Telecaster, actually.
yeah, and we had it coming through a Fender Princeton.
Yeah.
Right, and it's just a much cleaner sound, just slightly overdriven, and it just glued the song right together. And I see Ed says my genre is country, but I admire your talent. And it's interesting you mentioned country too, because we've been heavily influenced a lot in the last, and some people depending on what type of country fan you are. If I say Keith Urban, you might love or hate him. Depends on if you're really old. A bit by the modern country sounds. We find that's one of the places where you can still, it has a lot of rock influence. Modern country almost is some of the 80s type of rock influence, the 70s and 80s rock influence. That's where it's kind of gone. That's where you have to go to get that now. So that sort of stuff. Yeah, so we could play a more of a country song. Actually, this next one is called "There Will Never Be Another You." And this song actually came to me in a dream. I actually dreamt this song one night, and dreamt the story of the song, the whole story of the song, and woke up the next morning, grabbed my iPhone, of course, and just got the first verse and chorus and bridge pretty quick, and then we just refined it as we recorded it, and ended up getting some fiddle on this one from a guy, Kurt Balmer at States. He played with Lone Star, and also had a local friend of ours, Danielle Hewlett, come in and sing a duet, sing a chorus on the chorus. So here you go. I'm checking to see if Danielle is actually in. She is. That's her here.
We've known each other since we were kids. We spent together every day. I still remember that rainy afternoon. Was then that you told me you were moving away. We said goodbye underneath that tree, where our names are forever etched in blue. As you drove away, it was then I knew there will never be another you. There will never be another you, no matter where I go or what I do. My heart will always belong to you. There will never be another you. When I got that call about your wedding day, felt like a knife went tearing on through. I can't say it any other way. There will never be another you. There will never be another you, no matter where I go or what I do. My heart will always belong to you. There will never be another you.
see if I can stop it before another song cuts in.
Couple of things there, yeah. So Peter mentioned Springsteen, and we've had several people mention that you sound very similar to John Bon Jovi, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had people say that
I should have been born in Jersey.
we've had people say that songs have been playing, and people said, "Oh, is that Bon Jovi? Is that a new Bon Jovi song?" Of course, there's no mistaking Clint's voice is in that camp. You know, it's a good thing. This song too is really influenced by Springsteen sound.
Yeah.
Clint especially is a huge fan of Springsteen, so you definitely picked that one out there.
Oh yeah, Tunnel of Love album especially is one of my favorites. Springsteen, I got them all. I was a huge Springsteen fan.
And we spent a lot of time listening to Springsteen while we were writing these songs.
Yeah,
We work together every day, so we sit we work out of the studio here. We do all kinds. We don't just do music. We work together. We do web design and that type of stuff. So while we're working, there's always music playing. RDO is always on, streaming something.
we listen to a lot of different music. We listen to a ton of different music, all the same. But yeah, I learned to sing from Bon Jovi. I mean, they were a big influence on me when I was in school in high school. Really starting to sing. I didn't start lead singing until probably around that age. And when Keep the Faith came out, that was a huge influence on me. So, you know.
And then we just had somebody say Song Before kind of sounded like Striper.
Striper?
So Striper's
Awesome.
been a big influence for both of us too.
That's true. As a
Really
kid,
like all
man.
the, you know, there, yeah.
I was a huge Striper fan as a kid too. Loved their melody and their guitar playing. We don't have...
Pete, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, no?
Peter asked about Talk to the Wonderful Fiddle Violin Sound.
All right.
So we mentioned that was from
Kurt
Balmer, and he's in, where did you say?
He's in Texas. Kurt Balmer's in Texas. We don't really know anyone around here that plays the fiddle. It would be nice to have... That's right, Peter. You got it. Yeah, the guitar sound on Tougher Than the Rest, yeah. But Kurt Balmer, yeah, he played with Lone Star back in their heyday. And so he provides a service where he does fiddle tracks, it's called. Great guy to work with too. So we use him with other artists that we deal with and with our own. What else can we listen to? What's another good story?
Yeah,
Good
the video
story,
will be really fun to do, and Danielle, we might be hauling you into that one
pretty soon. Okay, we can do how about Faithful? We'll do something. This is a different song again. This one started out as a ballad. It was a complete ballad, and we decided to try something different with it, just to turn a ballad into upbeat, if that could work.
When I was younger, the things I would do, I never had a worry, never had a clue. So much could happen in so little time. Looking back now, I realize that love found me. You, Lord, and I promise I'll be faithful. I'll be everything you want me to be. I love you. Every piece of my heart belongs to you. rest of my arms to you. Every time I see you, every time I touch you, I see the rest of my life, and I know it'll be alright. Faithful, I'll be everything you want me to be.
Yeah, so that one's a little different, kind of in the pop acoustic vein. Pretty basic song, you know, faithful. I don't know, is there anything else we can say about this song?
Not really.
Kind of went it was kind of in the ballpark of Sail Away from Reach. That's kind of why we wanted this album to have more songs.
Yeah.
There's 13 songs, and we wanted to, you know, just to include all the different styles that we do play. Like Sail Away was a pretty popular song from Reach, and I don't know what else we can say about it. It started as a ballad, and
we've had good feedback on it.
Yeah.
People have listed that among their favorites, and it is kind of some maybe Maroon 5 influence there, some of that type of thing. So.
Cool. Let's do another one. Confidence Girl? How about that one?
Sure, yeah, let's do Confidence Girl.
Confidence Girl. You got a lead in for this one?
What inspired that one? Confidence Girl. Oh, it was the new guitar we got.
Oh,
new guitar, wasn't it? That was didn't we start writing out from?
That's true.
So we did a website for a newfound band in Gander. A great bunch of guys to work with. Love the music shop so we saw a message. I think it was on Facebook one day on their Facebook page, and they said like this Telecaster was used for a
Strat.
Was the Strat, wasn't it?
Yes.
Was that? Yes, it was used. The Strat was used for a great deal, and Clint looked at it and immediately like, wow, this is too good to pass up. We got to have this.
Yeah.
So we called up Roland, and he had it in. Gave him the Visa card, and he had it in the.
We had it the next day.
We had it the next day, and we were super excited. And Clint picked it up and just started jamming on it, and the sounds that were coming out of it just inspired this song. And this was another one that's kind of influenced by sort of a movie story type of thing too. Is that we were imagining a confidence girl, sort of, you've been hanging around with some confidence men, but you got to have some confidence girl. It's kind of a little bit of play on words there, sort of, I guess the story of maybe somebody who's kind of low self-esteem, maybe don't think that they're worth what they're really worth. And so we're imagining somebody, maybe an older father type of figure, a grandfather type of figure, talking to this girl and saying, you need to get some confidence. You need to realize who you really are. You're better than this. You're better than, and that's kind of that's how that story came about.
Yes, for sure.
And so the style of that is kind of
the style. It was kind of different. It's kind of bluesy. It's got a little bit of a bluesy vibe to it, and most of the songs start out on acoustic. A lot of songs start on acoustic, but this one started on electric. So kind of force yourself to try writing a little bit different. And I'll talk about just the sound of it after. We'll play a bit.
And I'll thank you, Peter. Peter made a comment here before it scrolls off there. He said that he enjoyed drumming, and Steve, he said, really played to the song and never compete with the overall presentation like great drummers do. I really appreciate that. That's a good compliment, and that's certainly one of the things that we do try to do. And Clint has really helped me in that area as well of when we do record, to try to, like I said, just keep it simple and just play exactly what the song needs. Yeah, and
I mean, I find the same for guitar too. Actually, you could easily. I find it very hard to shred over a song, especially if it doesn't need it. I don't do it. So. Yeah. Sometimes less is more. So here we go. Confidence Girl.
You don't really know where you came from. If it's high we're talking about you. Walls, they've been crumbling and you've just been stumbling through. Yeah. Hold your head up higher than the midday sun. If you hide your heart forever, then the love you want will never come. Confidence good, confidence good. Yeah, yeah. You've been hanging with some confidence man. You've gotta find some confidence girl. If you really know anything at you feel like you don't know anything at Hold your head up higher than the midday sun.
All right. So I guess I'll stop that one there. Yeah, what really helped this one kind of in the mix thing was the new Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams,
Right.
the Ryan Adams. The new Ryan Adams album is really classic sounding and very analog, very early Tom Petty sounding. I loved the album actually.
Peter just mentioned Tom Petty here too. There's a
Oh.
classic '60s way to you can find its way into. Peter,
Exactly,
can you
yeah.
read our minds? Are you like inside our heads?
He must be. Everything he says, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's exactly it. And when I heard that album, it's a new album, Ryan Adams. I can't remember the name of the album. I think it's just called Ryan
I
Adams.
think it's yeah.
I think it's one with his face on it. It's brand new anyway.
It's a great album. We spent
Yeah.
a week listening to that. I think.
Love that album actually, and that kind of helped with the mix of this one. Just I listened to his and listened to what he had done with his mix, with the drums and the acoustics and the guitars and the organ and the LCR panning. You know, the left, center, and right, just hard panning, hardly anything in the middle.
Yeah.
Just the center, but nothing in between the center and the left. It's kind of an old school mixing.
Yeah. And Janice wants to see us dance.
So we can't dance.
And Janice and Nan would like to see us dance.
Who's Nan?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen Clint dance, but you don't want to see me dance. So.
Oh man.
Janice really doesn't want to see me dance either. She's trolling me. So.
Why is it musicians can't dance? Why is that? I wonder.
We're too uncomfortable when we're outside of in front of our instruments.
I actually feel really uncomfortable unless I could do this. When I do this, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I feel better now. Whew, okay, there we go.
We should swing the camera and show people the studio here.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a mess here because we had the reorg. Maybe just before we end, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Janice. I stand on feet. That's my problem. I'm always standing on her feet. I'm really bad. I'm like Elaine on Seinfeld, bad.
Oh man.
Well, what's next?
What's next? What else? What do you think?
So we got. Let's take one of the ballads. Let's take the Say Now.
Say Now. Say Now. The original idea for that, I think, was.
You'll Never Be Alone.
Yep. Was Say Now. I think the original idea for that was again movie. A lot of these songs. There's a few of them that's been around for probably 3 or 4 years. I would say. Actually, there's one on here that's 10 years old, and it was a demo, and we redid it. But I'll play Say Now. Say Now, lyrically is you'll pick it up. I'll just play it. Less is more.
Good wedding song, I think. I think they're releasing this one as a backing track.
There's no real bass on this one. I don't think. I think there's just synth bass on this one.
everything you meant to be. Hey now, don't you run and hide now. I love you and promise you I'll never leave. And when you call, I will be waiting, and I'll hold you up and never let you fall. When you go, I will be standing beside you. Don't you realize you'll never be alone? Never be
Yeah. Lincoln Brewster, there you go. Dragon Girl, you got it. Right on. That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm a huge Lincoln Brewster fan. Love his guitar playing, love it. And yeah, that's definitely in this song. Also, a little bit of Mutt Lange production, I think, and the bottom end, a little bit of Shania Twain production there.
Yeah.
And some old classic. It's funny, Cars. I was thinking of Cars with the hand clap delay, delay on a hand clap sample and stuff. Cool.
So we got one person couldn't make it to the webcast tonight, but they did ask a question on the Facebook page, and they said, "What guitar amp effects and tone is used most on the tracks on the album?"
Who asked that? Dave?
Dave Mullen asked that one.
Cool, Dave.
Cousin Dave,
Cousin Dave.
professional music fan.
He is. He must be the best music fan there is ever. Guitar tones. Oh my goodness. I had to look at each song because it changes. I like to track an amp and a dry signal and an amp. So then I always got the dry signal as a backup. So if the amp is not cutting it, then we'll reamp with the dry signal, and or use Guitar Rig on this album too, quite a bit on some of the tones. Use a Fender Deluxe of Vox AC30 amps. Guitar Rig. What else? Different pedals, different types of pedals. Steve got a crap load of pedals, and we got a good mixture of amps. So our tones are pretty wide open.
It's just kind of whatever. A lot of times, in those tones too, they're inspiration for the song. You might be messing around playing one of your guitars. I think between us, we got how many guitars? Last count was 26, 30.
We never had too many guitars.
And so we just pick up whatever, and a lot of times that inspires. So, and we're open to anything. We're not like hardcore,
tube.
like must be tube type of thing. It's like, whatever works for the song, and if you know the realm you're working in and know how to work with it, you can get great tone out of.
Use the pod too, actually, on some of the stuff too. Like Lincoln Brewster uses it too. Actually, use the pod.
Sound comes first.
Yeah.
If it sounds good, it is good. Bottom line.
Yeah.
So, if you're taking guitar.
But really want to thank everyone too for the support. From hey Craig from Texas. On YouTube and Facebook, and just we love connecting with people, and love the fact that music is actually being heard, and it's and people are enjoying it, and if it helps people in the smallest, slightest way, then the job is done, right?
Yeah. And we're happy to be able to do it from home too, from Newfoundland.
Yeah. And if it goes further, then it goes further. That's good too, you know.
That's the great thing about the internet. It allows you to do so much, to be able to distribute this stuff digitally without having to, you know, to move away or to go. I mean, our music video for this, someone asked earlier, I think it was Keith asked us earlier, where did we shoot the music video? And we shot that music video 5 minutes away from the house here. And
funny story with that music video, with the music video. We were like, we need a music video, I guess, to go with the album if we're going to release this. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we were looking at the weather was just unbelievable here in Newfoundland. We were like, man, we got to take advantage of this weather. Yeah, but this was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, we were him and Hans said we need a music video release with. We got to have something, and we're flat out busy work wise, but you know, so we'll squeeze a video in there somewhere. So we finally committed to doing something. We had no idea what song we were going to do the video for. We got idea of a couple of songs, but we hadn't confirmed. We didn't change our clothes. We kept on whatever we got up that day. We grabbed a couple of guitars and our video cameras and got in Clint's Mustang and headed out, hit the road. And we said, well, let's go to Davies Pond. Anybody knows Springdale knows where Davies Pond is, and I live just on the outskirts of town. And so we headed that way, and as we came past Young's Road, again, only Springdale or in Green Bayers would know
Jess Young's Road.
Jess Young's Road. It said, let's turn down here. And so we drove down there, and we saw this kind of hill that went up over, and Clint said, okay, let's pull the Mustang up there. We didn't know if it was going to hit the bottom.
It's going to make it.
There were people, they were moose hunting, I think, coming out on their quads. Here's a couple of musicians pulling a air guitars almost, in the middle of a gravel pit. And we said, okay, I think this is a good spot to, this is a good spot to do it. What do you think we do? How about Storybook Ending? It seems like
we didn't know what song. We really didn't know what song we were going to do. And 2 minutes before we did the song.
So we grabbed the video cameras and we shot a bunch of footage. We played the song over, and I think that's the way you do it for a music video. You just play it on the ghetto blaster, on the ground literally for a few times over, playing along to it, and took it back in the studio and looked at the footage. We said, wow, some pretty cool shots in there.
Yeah.
And so we decided,
turned out better than we thought.
Turned out way better than we thought. So
just the light was great that day. The light was really good that day. Yeah.
So I hope you liked the video, and that's a bit of the backstory of how to. And we always like to say it's one of the benefits of living in rural Newfoundland. Lots of times I spent 20 years in the city in St. John's and away from Springdale. I moved back a few years ago. I just wanted to simplify a bit, and since I've come back, I realized, there's the downsides of living in a small town, but there's some really good upsides too, and that's one of the upsides. We can kind of walk out our backyard and shoot a video. We don't have to make a full week trip out of it, and
So Ghetto Blaster. Keith says Ghetto Blaster.
It was a Ghetto Blaster. Clint still got a Ghetto Blaster.
Oh yeah.
So so let's go back over before we play the next song. Let's go back to some of the things that have been said here. So my son is in here. I'm not going to point him out, but it's good to see you here, son. Because you'll be embarrassed.
Thanks, Patty, for the comment there. It reminds you of Bryan Adams. Bryan Adams was my very first experience with music. It was when the song "Heaven" came out. It was on Video Hits, if you remember. That was the very first time that I listened to the words and wrote them on a piece of paper and tried to figure out what the song was about. He was a huge influence on me too, as well, actually, from a young age.
So we've got Jacqueline asks, you mentioned that you had one girl do backup on one of the songs. Does Clint usually do all the vocals, harmonies himself? Does Steve do vocals too? So for this particular album, the first album, I did a few backing vocals, and I do backing vocals. But depending on timing, sometimes I'll do some backing vocals, but Clint does most of the backing vocals. It's just a matter of most times of convenience.
That's all.
Clint ends up polishing off these songs. Lots of times they're finishing them off in after hours and that type of thing after the day is done. And so if a song needs me to come in on a vocal, I'll do it. But otherwise, Clint manages most of the vocals. And so let's see. Craig's talking about rabbits. Okay.
Catching rabbits.
Oh, look, he said he caught rabbits back there when he was a kid. Yeah, back on Young's Road. Yeah. So.
And Peter Clark says, as a videographer, I applaud the camera work with the manual lenses, focus, etc. Well done. Yeah, that's Steve. That's Steve. Steve's got he's got the photography thing down, and I was just playing guitar, and he was just like rolling around on the ground, coming in and out with the focus. And he's got some nice lenses, wide-angle lenses and stuff for anyone into photography, and kind of went crazy with it, this time.
Yeah, and you know, we're not afraid to, you know, we're pretty new at all this type of stuff, doing our music videos. I mean, we do most of the work ourselves, almost every bit of it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's because we figure, well, we got cameras here and video cameras.
Let's do it.
Let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? We'll just scrap it and say it's junk if it was no good, and if it's good, we'll release it. And,
yeah.
So.
Exactly, and we're not afraid to try something that we haven't done before and work hard on trying to make it better.
Now, at the same time, we have on our obviously, so with our music video, I could shoot film Clint, and then Clint filmed the shots of me, and then for our album artwork, for our photos. We can't shoot the two of us. We need somebody else there, and for that, Sarah Hillier has been our camera girl, and she did a great job on our first album. She shot and most of the things that you see on Facebook, the group pictures of me and myself and Clint, where we're together. That's stuff that Sarah shot. And I think Jacqueline is Sarah's mom. So if Sarah's not around, Jacqueline, just kudos to Sarah again.
Yes.
I give this. She's a great girl. Is not afraid to try anything either.
On the first album.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Another song.
Here we go.
This one.
Is this show?
Let's try this one. This one is called Ride.
Day after day, it's just the same old thing. Get out the door before the work bell rings. I can't believe it, I'm here again. You think that I'd be smarter, it's time I played to win. I know you're lonely, I hear it in your sighs. I feel your heartbreak when I look in your eyes. Come on baby, take a ride with me. That long divided highway is where I wanna be. I wanna ride into the sunset, girl, with you tonight. I made a deal with myself, and I ain't coming back this time. No, baby. Everybody's got a soul to steal. Everybody's searching for love that's real. Come on, baby, cut the pain from your life. I feel the highway calling. Come on, let's leave tonight. I wanna ride into the sunset, girl, with you tonight. I made a deal with myself, and I ain't coming back this time. Into the sunrise of our life. I made a deal with myself, and I ain't coming back this time. If you cut yourself, you're gonna bleed. Like the river runs to the sea, I'll be there like the setting sun. I'll be around when the morning comes. A crossing guard on a busy street. I'll be the ground beneath your feet. Just don't cry, I wanna see no pain. I'll be your shelter from the rain. Yeah, yeah. the sunset, girl, with you tonight. I made a deal with myself, and I ain't coming back this time. Into the sunrise of our lives, I made a deal with myself, and I ain't going back. No, I ain't coming back this time.
Yeah, you probably hear a little bit of Bryan Adams in that one, I guess, eh? It's cool.
We tend to like a lot of our songs. We like songs to ride by, the drive.
Yeah.
You know, sort of nice driving songs, just kind of like just get you in the pocket type of thing. So you'll notice that it's one of those.
And we wanted this album to be kind of full, so that there was a lot more music than on Reach and on our Christmas one. Don't know if we got any more questions.
No. Well, we had. So Craig asked if we had the album available as an MP3 download. So we
Yes.
do. If you go to just sevenviewband.com, you can download. You can order as physical CD, or you can download singles or the entire album as an MP3 files. And we're also on Google Play Music. So if you're not on if you're not on iPhone, but you're on an Android phone, you can get it on Google Play. There, we're on Amazon and Spotify, RDO, just about anywhere. And then Jeremy asked if we were on Bandcamp. We did set up a Bandcamp account a while back, but we haven't been keeping that one up to date.
Yeah.
But we'll check that one out again too. I know there's a fair number of people
For sure,
that use
yeah.
it. It's getting more popular all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see here. Perfect. Craig just got his on Google Play. Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm an Android user as well, and we're big Apple fans. Almost everything we have is Apple, but I've got the Galaxy Note 3. Clint's got the iPhone 6, and we get along fine. So, so Hannah says, "I'm blessed. All I have to do to get the album is ask my parents to get one next time." Okay, probably at 135 Main.
Yeah.
People might have seen us playing down there, and Graham, who's in here tonight, and plays with us almost every Saturday night. We do just a live music, and Jeremy just commented here. Jeremy has been coming down with us too to our jams and helping with some of our video work.
Oh, Jeremy.
So so that's cool. Hi, Hannah, and we know your parents. And what else? See, Peter says this seems to be a crossover, a new Nashville sound with a Southern California feel.
Yep.
Beach, bonfire, riding waves. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
He's dead on every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Similar to a song that we co-wrote with Greg Bulger, Small Town Summertime.
Yeah, that's right.
It's got a similar kind of feel, kind of vibe. Actually, I think Small Town Summertime was influenced by this song, because this song was written a long time ago.
Yes, right
And
before.
that chorus in that song was kind of had a little bit of that kind of influence.
So Fitz asks, do we master the CD yourselves? This guy is the mastering master, let me tell you. Yep, he is. Clint does the mastering on all of the CDs, and the amount of work and time he puts into mastering is just blows my mind. And every album just keeps getting better. And when you stack on, I feel confident saying this about Clint, so I'll brag for him. When you stack the albums, the mastering quality up against anything on the market the other day, I think he's in the league. So kudos.
Well, one of the things that for us that we like to do is study on stuff and why is something good. Why? That's the way I look at it. It's like it's not all the gear. We got good gear, but it's not all the gear. It's not turn on a little thing and make it sound good. There's a science to everything, and there's a study to everything.
It's not all the gear, it's the ear.
Yes, it's the ear, not the gear, like the saying says, right? And thanks. I mean, that's a good comment, because it takes a lot of work. It took a lot of work to get it to where it is now, too. It took a good many years of work and trying to get it up to that. But I like, in particular, this one. I didn't want to push this master to be too hot compete, although it is in the volume with everything else. I tend to like stuff that's not as crushed like everybody now. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how crushed the music is till you compare it to some. Yeah, so that's awesome, and we're open to mastering for other people too as well. I mean, we can we're open to working with other people and that with tracking and mastering and stuff like that too. So if there's anyone out there that needs a bit of life brought to your songs, we can certainly work with you.
Yeah, too, because we publish a lot of music, of course, on our Facebook, and we boost our own stuff. But of course, we're a recording studio as well, and we do the full creative. We're a full creative, technical creative company, and so we have artists that come to record for us, and we're always open to anybody who wants to record. We're available to record your album and record your singles and record your song. And it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, Greg, come up, Greg, Gregg Bolger. Greg is from
CBS.
From CBS, Torbay, I think it is, Torbay originally. Moved to Calgary and started writing kind of in a country vein. Wanted to enter that market, and so he connected with us, and we've never met him in person. He's in Calgary. We recorded his entire album with him in Calgary and us here. So he would send us a voice memo of him playing his acoustic with a song on his iPhone, send it down to us, we'd interpret that into a full mix, record the mix, send it up to him, he'd record his vocals up there, send us down the audio files, we mix it in with the CD and produce the full CD and the artwork and the website and everything for him there. So distance is not an issue either. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. So
no,
keep us in mind for that stuff.
It's distance now with the internet. That's one great thing about it. I mean, we can we share up files, as and as Peter knows, we talk to Peter Clark quite a bit. Share up some files and work on them, collaborate from a distance, right? We don't mind doing that. We love doing that.
So I see. So Peter says, agree. Mastering can make or break songs. Agree with you, Clint. Steve Clint has a mastering sound. Yeah, it definitely has a unique sound. Jeremy says the quality of audio is very important. Too much loudness in CDs today, not enough range. That's something we're definitely aware of, and we're actually pretty comfortable in the digital realm. Yeah. And so we've got pretty used to working in digital, and you just it's like every tool in the analog. You gotta know how to get the sound, extract the right sound out of analog, and in digital you really got to know it too. Just because it's digital doesn't mean that you don't have to really know the tool. And Fitz said exactly, got to give it room to be able to move. Look forward to working with you guys. Cool. Look forward to working with you too.
Yes, man. That'd be awesome.
And Fitz, I presume that's
Dave.
That's Dave
for sure. Man.
All right, what else we got here?
We can do a couple more, I guess, or if we're not keeping everybody too late,
I guess we'll keep on going anyway. If they need to go, they can go and jump back in. So.
Yeah, if you guys got to leave, if we're boring you to death, you can certainly.
You can come back later and skip over parts if we're boring you too much.
So we played everything except for 3 songs. We'll do. Let's do this one. This one's called "Show Up." And I think lyrically on this one, I kind of borrowed a little bit from the Rolling Stones' "Waiting on a Friend" idea. And this song is kind of about how people, maybe someone who's a little bit awkward, a little bit, things kind of go down the toilet pretty fast. You kind of, you try your best and it seems like you don't know why, but, your friend or whatever just kind of, disappears and you end up alone. You end up in the same circle all the time. So
yeah,
here you go. see the future.
something that's about to change inside of these hooks. All my life, it seems like I've been waiting for the only thing that I can find. Show up, break down, time and time again, time and time again. Show up, fall down. I'm waiting here for a friend, waiting here for a friend. I don't feel like talking, but I must confess that I believe there's something in the words. Comfort is a virtue. I don't know where I lost it. Stuck inside my heart, could it be worse? Show up, break down, time and time again, time and time again. Show up, fall down. I'm waiting here for a friend, waiting here for a friend. Oh yeah, I'll try again. Oh yeah, all my life, it feels like I've been waiting for the only thing that I can't find. Show up, break down, time and time again, time and time again. Show up, fall down. I'm waiting here for a friend, waiting here for a friend. La 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 la. Yeah, I'll try again. Yeah. La 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 la.
There you go. Show up, that one's called.
So Peter says has the Mutt Lang intro.
Yeah,
For sure. Brian
That's-
Adams Shania and the brushes on the drums. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Yeah,
That
That's-
was the right touch there, we thought, for that one.
Yeah,
To put the soft brushes on there.
yeah.
And Green Froggy, Janice, says the heat from these lights is making the studio warm. Yeah, it's pretty warm here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
How are you guys doing back there? Justin and Bar? Right on.
Dave Fitzpatrick asks, "Was that a real piano?" It's a pretty real sample, sounding sample. It's a sample. It's a combination of a couple samples, I think. Sometimes it's nice to layer a couple different sounds. I think that one came from the Contact player. Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds. It's an upright.
And Clint does all the piano playing too. So Clint can play just about anything.
I've been forced to kind of learn a bit of piano with the recordings and stuff, so I've gotten a little bit better at it.
So Craig asks, Craig says, I'm multitasking, fixing EVDO issue in Los Angeles and listen to you guys rock.
Oh, cool.
And Craig works on the EVDO, I guess that's cellular. He works in the States. doing work on cellular networks. I think, Craig, you're one of the guys that makes sure that the cell systems are kept up when the big votes are coming in for American Idol. I think
Oh, cool.
he's one of the guys that makes sure that tech is off, doesn't stumble under the load.
Wicked.
Dana asks, is this a Christian album? That's an interesting question. Clint and I are both active Christians, but we kind of we have, to us, we're Christians who make music.
Yeah.
And so all of our music, you will find themes of everyday life, because no matter whatever, if you're a Christian or non-Christian or whatever you call yourself, what the things that you really believe in, the things that you think are important, are going to come through in your music and so on. So I wouldn't call it an overtly. There's some songs there that could be about a spiritual relationship or a spiritual connection, and other things that are just about commitment and life and love and struggles and ups and downs, and so that's where I would place this album. This is an album about life, and if life includes some spiritual aspects, and that's going to come into it as well. There's a side of us too that we do in our local church. We'll lead music there, and in that context, we might do really full-on spiritual music. In this context, we just like to do music that everybody can enjoy and listen to. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Perfect.
And Craig confirmed that he's the guy that makes sure that you keep your votes are all going in when you're doing.
That's cool. Craig's the man.
Peter Clark says,
What?
we could do a Kiss song. Peter Clark says, as a plug, I hope you tell folks about your brilliant Christmas album with an amazing single. Christmas is coming.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. We do have a Christmas album. We released a Christmas album last year. Same story, actually. We were just we had a little bit of downtime, and we said, well, what are we going to do? We obviously wanted to do a Christmas album, so we decided to do one, and really happy with it. Actually, it turned out really well, really well. And yeah, it was Peter suggested that, right? We may do a video for one of the songs off the Christmas album. We got 2 or 3 done from last year.
Yeah. That Christmas album really did well for us, and it was actually it was a kind of a real impetus for us to start. It was coming off the high of the Christmas album. I think we did well with that, and we just did a lot of events and stuff last Christmas in our local area, around that album, and that's what, one of the things we got together on New Year's Day, I think, when we started this album.
Yes.
We really started this album.
It was after Christmas.
It was right after Christmas, was in that whole,
It's
we were
true.
okay, what's next? And so you'll be seeing too, actually we have, speaking of the Christmas album, if you want to buy the physical CD of this album, we have a bundle deal too. So this is our 3rd album. So our first album is our first album is called Reach. Our second album is a Christmas album. Christmas Comes Every Day, and in this album, so we've got a deal. If you want to buy 2 of our albums, you get them for $35. If you want to buy 3 of our albums, are $45. So you can get all 3 of ours. So it's basically 1 for $20, 1 for $15, and 1 for $10. So yeah, cool.
So we can play another song.
Yep.
This one is a little different. Again, this is the song I was telling you about earlier. It started as an old demo, and we just took it and redid it for a new album. So it's called Out of Control.
Get 'cause it feels like we're spinning out of control. Yes, it feels like the world has got no soul, and it feels like the stop. Yes, it feels like we've all got a price to pay. We're spinning out of
There you go.
That's it, is it?
It's one more.
One more.
There's one more on there. I don't know if we can.
So we got a couple more comments here, and let's see. Jeremy. Jeremy said, "Never heard your Christmas album. Do you play classics, or do you play a mix of classics and something you created?" Yeah. So that there's one original, "Christmas Comes Every Day," and the rest of them are all
Yeah.
classics.
We kind
All
of did
them
them
with
different
different
twists on
There's an
them.
instrumental version of
What child is this?
What Child Is This? There's a rocking version of Angels We Have Heard on High.
Yeah.
There's kind of really eclectic version of We Three Kings of Orient.
Yes.
There we had fun with that one.
Tempo changes. and
That
stuff.
one we do these tempo changes where we start off
Yeah.
in one tempo and then on the chorus we bump the tempo up just to give it a cool effect. And so it's,
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that album.
Uh,
And so Jeremy said this song is my style, so I really
Cool.
liking that Out of Control. I love the Out of Control song too, and we're already thinking of
Video
some
for
video
that.
ideas for that. Dave Fitz said, love the octave vocal. Cool, bro. You two are great. You're wicked as well. Steve can hear that. Thanks a lot. And Peter says, Out of Control could have sat on the Reach album easily. This one is a single, guys. Very visual with some brilliant messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we can almost
Yeah.
see some video ideas in
Yeah.
our heads for this too. And Keith asked, "Do I win the furthest listener? Anyone further than BC? I don't know.
Well, we got looks like, is that Jane and
Yeah.
Craig?
Jane and Craig are in Texas, so I'm not sure how far down that is versus how far south that is versus how far west. I'll let you guys fight that one out.
Yeah.
Jane says Ride sounds like Lady Antebellum or Ben Perry, modern country sound
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like we said, there is definitely a
For
modern
sure.
country influence there. Lady Antebellum, we
Oh,
listened
yeah.
to a fair bit of that while
Yeah.
we were making this album.
Love all that. Yeah.
So a Tom Petty influence on Confidence Girl, yeah,
Definitely.
Jane.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, lots of Tom Petty influence all over the album, and
Yeah.
there's even some. If you listen closely enough, you'll even hear a little bit of No Doubt on what song is
Ride,
that?
is it?
On,
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That little bass riff. Doom,
Yeah.
doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll do one more. We got one more song. It's the last song on the album. It's called "What You're Worth," and it's I'd say it's probably kind of Keith Urbanish, kind of country, but with some electronic, a little bit electronic, slightly different type of song, love song. I wrote this one for my wife. And,
Now I love it when I hold your hand. It makes me feel like a real man. And when I look into your eyes, I see a little 'cause I know what you're worth. You're worth more than all the riches in this world. You're worth more than all the diamonds or the pearls. I wanna give my heart and soul, just one that you know just how much you really mean to me. 'Cause I love you, baby, and there's no one else on earth that I would ever live my life with, darling. 'Cause I know what you're worth. You're worth more than all the riches in this world. You're worth more than all the diamonds or the pearls. I wanna give my heart and soul, just one chance to let you know just how much you really mean to me. I'm gonna give my heart and soul, just one chance to let you know just how much you really mean to me.
That does it.
That, I think, is that.
13 songs. Thanks for listening. We skipped it, never skipped a couple, but we only played parts of some. But yeah,
So, see a couple last comments here. Jane says best one is Don't Look Back. It's her favorite, and she says that sounds a bit like some Michael W. Smith, and of course for me that's a pretty big influence growing up.
I could hear that for sure.
And so, and I don't know which one you're referring to, but I do agree to some similarity there too. Maybe it's because it's got that real rich keyboard sound in it.
Yeah.
And Michael W. Smith, of course, is a keyboardist.
Yeah.
And Andrew says beautiful song right from the heart. And
Awesome.
So thanks for that. And Craig says love the guitar work. And of course,
Thanks,
the guitar
Craig,
work
man.
as usual is. And Keith has excused themselves,
Yep.
and we're just in time because
Yep. Thanks, Keith.
we're just done. And so thanks for joining us on our
man.
first one. This has been a lot of fun. It was
Yeah.
more fun than I ever dreamed. I think it could be, and looking forward to more of these. Maybe
This is
next
the
time
first.
we weren't ready this time to pull out the acoustics and play anything. We wanted to listen to the full album, but maybe the next one we can do some
We can
live
do
stuff. And,
maybe a
and,
live show or something.
do a live show and maybe pull something down to 135 Main and play something live there.
Yeah, for sure.
And stay in touch. Make sure you like our Facebook page and watch what's happening there. Appreciate all the support. One of the very best things you could do to support us is to share our stuff and comment on it. And that's Facebook has made it a lot more difficult to just when you like a page, you don't always see things, and so commenting on things and sharing them really helps get the word out. Otherwise, you have to pay. Facebook is making you cough up a lot of money these days to get more reach on your stuff, and no pun intended, reach.
Yeah.
But so anything that you could do, if you like the music, we appreciate all the shares we can get. It's like that's like money.
Yeah.
And so we really appreciate it. Craig, Benny Hester, back in the day. It's interesting. I've been introducing Clint to Benny Hester. I actually looked up some Benny Hester the other day for one of the songs as an inspiration. So I love big Benny Hester fan as well, right? So so I guess that's everything. If there's if nobody has any more questions, appreciate all the comments coming at the end here. We'll end the broadcast here. I'm going to stay in the chat talking to you for another couple minutes. And again, appreciate it, and keep your eyes peeled for more events coming up and more music from Sevenview.
For sure.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Good night.